A man described as a jealous, obsessive ex-boyfriend has been found guilty of murdering South Auckland mother Arishma Chand. Ms Chand was found stabbed to death in her Manurewa home on November 12 last year. Her ex-boyfriend, 42-year-old Rohit Deepak Singh, was charged with her murder 3 days later and has been on trial in the High Court in Auckland for the past 4 weeks. Our court reporter Anneke Smith has been following the case and she joins us now. What happened in court this afternoon?
Well, this afternoon the jury came back after just 45 minutes of deliberations with a unanimous guilty verdict. When the verdict was delivered, Singh just stayed at the floor. He was standing in the dock and he appeared relatively emotionless. Ms Chand's parents, who have been attending throughout the trial, were in the public gallery sitting together and they appeared quite relieved.
So what has this case been about?
So in a nutshell, the Crown's case has been that Singh was a jealous ex-boyfriend whose infatuation with Ms Chand drove him to kill her. Ms Chand met the defendant through her father, who had worked with him for a decade in Fiji. Now, these two men were very close. Ms Chand's father took the stand during the trial and said that he actually considered him to be a brother. Mr Singh and Ms Chand had a very brief sexual relationship in 2016 when she was boarding with him. She fell pregnant during their relationship but got an abortion and broke up with Mr Singh. Now, the Crown argued throughout their case that Mr Singh refused to accept this decision in the 15 months between their breakup and her death. And over the past 4 weeks, jurors have heard evidence of him messaging her almost daily on the app Viber, watching her from cars he borrowed from his friends, and he even went as far to get a tattoo of a picture of her on his chest.
So he was basically stalking her, that was the evidence.
Essentially.
Yeah. So what happened on the night she was killed?
So the night Ms Chand was killed, she had spent a night out at Sky City with her boyfriend, and they arrived at her parents' home in Manurewa. Her parents weren't home at the time, so she told her boyfriend he looked tired and that he should go home. She told him that she'd be fine alone, but shortly after he left, her parents got a call from her saying she was worried someone was outside. They told her not to worry, that they were on their way home, and they arrived 16 minutes later and found her dead, lying in a pool of blood.
Gosh, that must be absolutely heartbreaking for them on a number of levels. What have the police had to say after the verdict was returned?
The police officer that oversaw this case, Brett Shields, spoke to media outside the court after the verdict was delivered. He said that the family were relieved at the verdict and the time that it had taken, just 45 minutes, and said they were pleased themselves too.
The family relieved. It's been an arduous trial for them. Family members have travelled from Fiji to be present. They've gone home now to spend some time with the daughter of the deceased, Alicia. She's 3 years old and has been left without a mum as a result of this tragic case.
So what happens now?
Justice Powell remanded Mr Singh in custody for sentencing next year. He'll be sentenced on Valentine's Day next year, which will be a year to the day that he left a bouquet of flowers on her doorstep in a bid to win her over after the breakup.
Okay, thank you for that. That's Anneke Smith with some harrowing details there of the case involving Rohit Deepak Singh, who was found guilty, as you heard there, in just 45 minutes of murdering his ex-girlfriend.